To List. This show we plug on the name out of our all-time movie watch list, watching review for your viewing pleasure. The movie we're scratching off the list today is a 1978 Lord of the Rings cartoon. The Fellowship.
Excuse me. The Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings cartoon. The Fellowship of the Ring embark on a journey to destroy the One Ring and end Sauron's reign over Middle-earth. I never seen to do one before. I am also not like a die-hard Lord of the Rings fan, but I appreciate the films. I love the spin-off video games and stuff like that. Mi compa right here is a die-hard Lord of the Rings fan, so much so that he even opted out of watching The Ring of Power.
Yes, sir.
Anything I say can and will be used in the court of law against me, mi compa, as he just showed by me not saying "the" in the beginning. Bro, you seen the dude before?
No, sir. The only thing I've ever seen of this movie is that scene where Gandalf yanks Sam out of the bush. He's like, well, Sam, you're going with Frodo. Then he just kind of stops, looks back, and goes like, ugh. And I was like, yeah, I need to watch this movie now.
Yeah, Sam is kind of like drawn kind of ugly too, huh? He's like...
Well, the thing is that it's kind of accurate to the books because Sam is actually a servant. And in the books is left more clear than the movies, because in the movies it's like, oh, it's just his gardener, it's his friend. But in the books is left very clear that there's a gap in the hierarchy between Sam and Frodo.
That's why he's on his nuts all the time.
Simon.
What really shook me was at the beginning how it starts with the live action shots. I was like not expecting that at all from the animation. And a lot of it is predominantly filmed with live actors in black and white and then rotoscoped over it, having cel-drawn animation over each frame of the actor in the film, which is really, really wild.
The animation is so fluid. There are several parts of the movie that you definitely see that there's just like film and they kind of cel shaded it out.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that bar scene in Bree where Frodo starts dancing and singing.
Yeah, you can tell that there's dudes that are just like painted over. Every character was rotoscoped over except for Treebeard. Treebeard is the only character in the movie who's not. I was trying to figure out the whole movie. Is that a human? Is that rotoscoped over? Oh, that's pure animation. Or no, and it's like...
Everything's rotoscoped over. Well, the people.
Yeah, and then you're looking at the horses and even how they were moving, because they would do like not normal movements. There's a scene where Frodo's being chased or whatever, and then you've got the black whatever with his black horsey, and then Frodo on this side, and then there's, I forget, it was like water or something. And the way they moved felt really realistic because they were like sidestepping and then turning around. Just the way that the horsey itself was moving was like, damn, like it's got better fluidity than some of the shit today. But even in the opening, it was different and interesting how the live action was used, because we've seen the flip side of it, of a live action film where they bring in animation to tell some sort of story. Like the first thing that comes to mind is Harry Potter when they're talking about the
Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, the Deathly Hallows. They bring in some different animation to, you know, just add a different perspective or just a different flavor to that little story. But I don't remember or recall ever the opposite of an animated movie bringing in live action stuff to tell the story. There's probably stuff out there. Please let me know down in the comments. But that was really, really interesting to me. I almost thought, I was like, am I watching the right thing? Was there like a live action movie that I missed that was early on? I was really confused.
It stole our precious.
In this kind of stuff, you can definitely tell in the battles and stuff, that is definitely like dudes acting, running around, fighting each other. And especially in that one battle, it's a giant group scene. It's just very interesting how the movements look. The movement of the animation is really very gripping. The animation itself could be a little goofy. Gandalf's pupils would change size a lot, making him look crazy as shit.
Like he's in mushrooms.
Yeah, he's tripping balls.
Maybe he was tripping balls when he was with Saruman. That's why he looked like saw all those colors and shapes and whatever. Like, whoa.
Yeah, my favorite was Frodo's face when Gandalf was like, "Don't tempt me." He's like, "Bitch, what?"
Awesome.
Do not tempt me. I shall have such need of strength.
Why don't people use rotoscopic animation at? Well, they're more expensive. It takes a long time.
I'm sure there's AI that could do it.
Of course.
So Tim Burton has been incorrectly identified as an animator from this movie.
Really?
Yeah, director Ralph Basquiat, he clarified the whole thing and said that he was like a part of the project, but his job was to dust off the animation cells. He didn't actually animate anything.
Or at least it participated.
The voice acting I thought was really, really good for this film. Like it's not cheesy, it's not goofy, it's very taken seriously. John Hurt voices Aragorn.
No shit.
And Anthony Daniels as Legolas. He's the OG C-3PO.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But what's funny is that Mick Jagger and David Carradine actually approached the director wanting to play Frodo and Aragorn.
Whoa.
There was lines already recorded, but there's an alternate universe where Mick Jagger plays Frodo and Dave Carradine plays Aragorn. That would have been hilarious.
Well, you have put your foot in it this time. Who are you? I am called Strider.
It was interesting also to me because, you know, we know, well, me particularly, I know about these characters, you know, because you have that Peter Jackson's version of the movie in your head, so you can't help but to compare it. That's obviously the mecca of Lord of the Rings is the Peter Jackson films. Everything else is compared to that. Mm-hmm. But it was fun to see Smeagol and Gollum and that design, Bilbo Baggins, the Black Riders that you mentioned. Even the horses on the Black Riders look evil, man.
Yeah, because they look like black and purple with red eyes. I'm like, what the is happening, dude?
Yeah, red or blue eyes sometimes, and it's just like the silhouettes. I thought they looked really cool.
There's a void in the universe with it when they walk.
Like they take up space like that. It's very interesting. Because then they would go to this other realm too, no? And that realm was all dark and the colors that they used was pretty wild.
And for example, I think one of the uses of color that was very interesting was in the Battle of Helm's Deep. Everything was red. Everything was grainy. Oh my God. It made me uncomfortable. It made me feel shit. I didn't know I could feel it in that specific storyline.
Right, I'm sure it was used to hide the live action aspect of it as well.
Oh, of course.
Comparing the characters, like Aragorn looks kind of Native American, you know? Is that in the books? Because he's less Vigil and more Pocahontas than anything.
He's basically a giant guy, it's like 6'6" guy that's almost paper white with the darkest hair you'd ever seen. They're kind of ethereal. With a skirt, son? Really? Okay, I'll take it, whatever. It's that time's interpretation. When Boromir, this Viking-looking dude, I started laughing. I was like, what's happening?
I didn't know who he was. It took me a minute to even know who the hell he was. Even when them saying, you know, Boromir, I'm like, I don't remember no Viking guy.
It just says Sean Bean, like, oh, yeah.
I would have been, he gonna die. Yo, when he dies, dog.
That was really fierce, way.
Yo, it is for cheering or what the hell? He had like 10 arrows through the heart, man. They got great aim. It's like, damn, way. You feel every arrow like go in, the sound effect and everything. I had to remember, yo, is this for cheering or what the hell going on?
I watched that whole sequence twice. It was actually pretty cool.
It was pretty sick, but yeah, that kind of sucks. But yeah, Legolas looked cool. The worst one is Galadriel. Why she look like Michael Jackson, my guy?
Yeah, that. I think if anything, that was the thing that took me off the most. I was actually unsettled. I was looking at the thing and I was like, who the fuck are you? Are you Demon Galadriel or what?
And then there was like another lady that they kind of just copy pasted, no?
Oh yeah, Eowyn.
Yeah, but they kind of just copy pasted the design.
Yeah, they only didn't put the crown.
Yeah, so it's like whatever. But yeah, the first time you see Galadriel, I was expecting her to go hee start moonwalking away, because we watched the order backwards, right? This came out first and we watched the Peter Jackson movies later, but obviously the Peter Jackson, like I said, is the mecca, and it's like you're watching the earlier version of that, so it's like none of it is right or wrong. I guess there's been changes for the adaptation, but it was just wild because there was especially this one scene that made me think of the movie, and turns out that he pay homage to it. He does it a couple times, like when the writer's looking for the hobbits and they're hiding under the tree trunk.
Yeah,
the way it's shot, he used this movie as inspiration. And also at Bilbo's birthday party, he has someone shouting "Proud Feet" to give a shout out to homie that has the giant feet in the beginning of this movie.
And I had to kind of check myself, kind of was like, hey, Jackson did that. Wait, hold on. Whoa.
Backwards, bruh. Backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, because like I was shocked about the runtime too, because I didn't even think about like how many books they were going to cover or whatever. It's like over 2 hours, and it was the longest animated film of the time.
I did feel the 2 hours.
Yeah, it does slow down more than halfway through. It feels like they jumped around a lot. It feels like they did leave some stuff out. so it drags a little, and the way it ends, it was a little weird, but I did like the music was pretty cool. Original thought was for the director to use Led Zeppelin music for the movie,
What?
but he wasn't able to get the rights.
Good.
They're very like known to not really share a whole lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also like known fans of the books. They have several songs with references of the imagery of the books, so it would have made sense. But I'm sure there's gotta be an edit of that out there somewhere. There's gotta be.
I mean, in this wide world with the internet, there has to be.
Just in the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, the evil one, crept up and slipped away with her.
I found it interesting that Gandalf drops a "Run, you fool," and then when he falls, he says something else.
Follow you fools.
"I'll follow you, fools."
Well, I thought it said that. I don't know what he said because
Audio's not clear, so when with the Balrog, which looks whack,
oh yeah, that was
bruh,
terrible.
looks like
A
ass.
dude with the head, the pig head.
It looks like someone walked in a mascot halfway through getting changed, like he's not finished, and they told him, "You're done. Run out there. You're good."
Oh yeah, that's A1. Chingue su madre.
And he's like, you know, he doesn't say "you shall not." He says "you cannot pass,"
You cannot pass.
and it's obviously less dramatic. But then when he falls, he says something, and I didn't really understand what he says. He says something like "run, you fools," or something, "you fools." He says something, "you fools," as he's falling down. If you guys know, let us know down in the comments.
Fly, fools! Fly, fools! Fly, all of you! Fly!
That final battle scene is really long too, like a little too long, and I think that the red for that scene like takes away a little bit too much because it makes everything blend together. Like it was cool for a little bit, but for how long the battle goes on, and like I feel like it takes away.
It's a lot to ask for a 1978 movie. The whole thing was a little bit more dynamic. It would have been easier to watch. If they would have cut a lot of it out, it would have been a little bit more, quicker, obviously, but digestible.
And the whole thing is live action, people. You know, the whole battle of Helm's Deep. What's funny is that it involved over 3,000 people in costumes with props, and he had to use 8 cameras. And it took an entire morning to set up to film this whole battle. And just before they started filming, they had extra shouted lunch. So everybody had to drop everything and he left.
Holy shit.
So Basky kind of lost his mind.
I would have lost it too.
All right, let's go. No, bitch, lunch. No. And you just hear the weapons fall to the ground. There was also this weird Gandalf attack in slow-mo. It was weird.
At the end when he shows up with the Rohirrim, right?
Yeah, but he attacks like 2 guys 2 times. But it's done in like slow motion in a very awkward way. It was just, it stood out to me. It looks very weird.
I gotta say, this is an interesting movie because it blends or it summarizes the first and second books, basically. And it was very fun to see several details, but also the pacing is choppy and weird.
A lot of fans hated that this only covers the first 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there was kind of plans of making a 3rd movie. But Ralph Bakshi, who wrote this film, covered the first 2 books, like you mentioned, and this was actually a financial success. So with them canceling it, it was a bit weird, but a lot of Tolkien fans were disappointed that the movie only covered the first 2 books. And then because it covers 2 books in one movie, there's a lot of characters and events that had to be cut out for the movie. So then when producers saw Science told Ralph Bakshi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of this correctly, please let me know in the comments. He was informed that they will not move forward with a sequel. Raken and Bass actually made an animated adaptation of The Return of the King. And then after that release, the fans who were bitching were like, you know what? It's actually not that bad.
Oh my God.
That's how bad that other one was. And I actually I saw a few scenes of the animated Return of the King, and the quality of it just immensely dips. It's way more toned down and cartoony, and it feels like for kids.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, we don't want to go to war today. But the Lord of the Lashes says, nay, nay, nay.
Even though the pacing is choppy, this movie does flow very well. There's some special effects that look hilarious, but they blend very good with the aesthetic of the movie. It's an interesting way to summarize both all the stories that take place on these two books. But a note on how the characters moved was so hilarious that kept me engaged, just looking at everybody move so over dramatically. As a piece of history, I think this movie proposes a lot of interesting ideas, and I think the best thing that came out of this movie was the poster. The poster's just beautiful. Looks so badass.
Yeah, the poster's pretty sick. Kind of looks like a D&D pack or something.
Like the front cover of a D&D book.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about the choreography for the fights isn't super amazing. But I just love the incorporation of live action to it. Do you think it's a must watch? Do you think every Lord of the Rings fan should watch it?
Oh yeah, of course. Because a different take on the whole thing.
Is it a must watch for someone who doesn't give a shit regardless? Probably not. You're not going to appreciate it as the same way, I don't think.
No, not for a long time.
No, because it definitely feels like of the time. It definitely feels old, right? The art style, I found it to be interesting, and the mix of live action I really, really loved. But for a regular schmegular, hobbitses, I don't think you should. It's a must watch. But yeah, I do agree. For a diehard Lord of the Rings fan who has not seen it, I think it's a must watch for them.
Definitely.
I was also kind of bummed that we kind of skipped over one because the Hobbit cartoon came before this. It was released a year before. So let us know down in the comments if you'd like to see the video for that. While you're down there, comment your thoughts on the Lord of the Rings animated movie. Any Lord of the Rings facts, anything. Are you excited for this upcoming animated movie? Anything at all, let us know down in the comments while you're down there. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to always and forever, you do you.
Follow your fools.
It don't sound right.
I know.